I'm Nisha.
And I'm Maddie.
And this is our TED Talk for Geology 202.
The Earth is full. Paul Gilding said it in his widespread TED Talk video, and we're going to say it again. The Earth is full. Overconsumption and rapid production have left our fragile planet in a bad state. The well-being of animals is being compromised due to climate change caused by consumerism. The environment's health is decreasing with the rapid growth of technology, and modern devices pose a threat to the happiness of humans. We must make a change, but to make a change, we must first be made aware. Inspired by the view of Paul Gilding, we are here to help educate and inspire.
To start, let's talk about the negative effects that climate change and consumerism has on the well-being of the animals occupying the Earth. As Paul Gilding stated in his TED Talk, humans are living beyond their means so extremely that it would take 1.5 Earths to sustain our population. The effect that this overconsumption has on animals is devastating. The products we purchase on a daily basis are accompanied by egregious amounts of packaging, commonly made of plastic that doesn't biodegrade. In 2012, America only recycled 6.5% of the plastic it produced. Our waste, including that from packaging, ends up in landfills, which commonly occupy space once inhabited by a variety of animals. Not only are they forced to relocate, but oftentimes the garbage takes a chip of its own. Plastic bags can end up in animals' stomachs, along with colorful plastics that birds mistake for food, and plastic rings infamously end up around various creatures' necks, potentially resulting in death.
Dangers of our excessive living comes more indirect result, climate change, which very negatively affects our planet's creatures. As more fossil fuels are burned and released into the atmosphere, the global climate rises. For animals living in the coldest climates on Earth, such as polar bears, habitat loss becomes inevitable as warming temperatures melt ice. Action needs to be taken to slow or potentially stop these negative consequences of our consumerist ways, possibly including intensive recycling programs, composting, and the reduction of our carbon footprint. If we don't begin to consider the consequences of our actions and start reflecting on the Earth's needs rather than our own selfish wants, the environment will deteriorate.
Our next topic deals with the negative impacts technology can pose to the environment. Although technology has provided us with previously unimagined forms of communication and transportation, along with improving many other aspects of our lives, we cannot ignore the consequences of such advancements, many being towards the environment. For example, rechargeable batteries can contain metals such as cadmium, cobalt, and lead, which can be harmful to the environment if not disposed of properly. When these batteries degrade in landfills, the heavy metals contain the surrounding air, topsoil, and groundwater, which not only affects the environment's health, but human health by contaminating resources. Rapidly improving technology also means that old devices easily become old news, and the newest, fastest replacements become necessary, creating waste out of usable technology. A cell phone tends to last 2 to 3 years on average because of the constant influx of newer, better models.
The production of these technologies can also be harmful to the environment. Rapid consumerism creates the drive for companies to increase production, which requires raw materials for assembly. This means that land is cleared for factories, destroying plant life in the way, and resources are used for manufacturing, resulting in habitat loss for animals. Throughout production, further environmental hazards can occur, such as spilling, dumping, and acidification. Through the synthesis and transport of all types of goods, greenhouse gas emissions are released, depleting the ozone layer.
Things that were once luxuries, such as jet travel and long distance, will become necessities. Even though Americans seem to work extraordinarily hard, at least compared to Europeans, their avid pursuit of entertainment turned media and leisure into multi-billion-dollar industries. The quality of life for Americans is now much better than it was in the middle of the last century. Oddly though, if you ask Americans how happy they are, you'll probably be surprised by the answer. As it turns out, Americans today are no happier than they were in 1946, which is when formal service of happiness started. Since the 1950s, reports of major depression have increased tenfold, and while much of that boost undoubtedly represents a new willingness to diagnose mental illness, there's a general consensus among mental health experts that it also reflects a real development. People are more anxious, they trust government and business less, and get divorced more often.
There is, however, one group of Americans that is unperturbably sunny, the Amish. Their depression rates are negligibly low relative to the rest of society. Their happiness levels are consistently high. The Pennsylvania Amish, when asked how much they agree with the statement, "You are satisfied with your life," using a scale of 1 to 10, turn out to be as happy as the members of the Forbes 400. The Amish, though, do without most of what we think of as modern technology. They don't rely on the automobile, don't use the internet, and seem to prefer the stability and permanence to the heady growth that propels innovation in the U.S. economy. The comparison is a little facile. The Amish have a lot of other characteristics that make people cheerful, including strong community ties, stable families, and religious faith. But it suggests an interesting question. Is it possible that technology, instead of liberating us, is holding us back? Most seriously, thinking about technology is hard because people adapt so quickly to the technologies that are available to them, as things that once seemed miraculous soon become mundane, and worse, frustrating when they don't work perfectly. It turns out it's hard to keep in mind what things were like before the technology came along.
As you can see, there are many consequences that come with our developed world, specifically relating to human consumption of resources. Our constant need for bigger and better goods is harming the environment, plant and animal life, and even our own happiness. Granted, technology can be a good thing, but if we continue to abuse it, we can very negatively impact our lives. As a global community, we need to stop taking advantage of our resources and understand they are limited, meaning we need to use them wisely. We only have one Earth, and we need to start acting like